Welcome back. My name is Neil Charon, and this is the Gideon Star Chronicler. I came across a great article the other day from Inc. on George Lucas, and basically the article went into some details about Star Wars and its making of Star Wars, but what struck me most was that the suggestion that George wasn't really interested in money per se, but more interested in gaining leverage. Leverage to attain the rights for Star Wars, leverage to avoid the interference of studios like what had happened to him on American Graffiti. And this actually reminded me of a quote, and I'll put the article in the description below for you to read for yourself. But this reminded me of a quote, which I'll also put in the description below, from Brian Grazer. And it said, when he wanted to go into filmmaking business, he was told you have to have leverage. Since you have none, no money, no pedigree, no valuable relationships, you must have creative leverage. That exists only in your mind, so you need to write. Put what's in your mind on paper, then you'll own a piece of paper. That's leverage. Brian Grazer wrote Splash, the big Tom Hanks hit, and what he would do was send himself thousands of ideas via registered letters so he could leverage those ideas eventually. To this day, I feel that my real power is only that ideas and confidence. To this day, I feel that my real power is only that ideas and confidence to write them down. This also reminds me of around this time I had gone to Celebration 2, Star Wars Celebration 2 in Indianapolis, and had the privilege to sit down in a room with Jonathan Hales and just listen to him talk about co-writing Attack of the Clones. His favorite character was Dexter Jetster, and just all these different things. But one of the questions that I had that he answered, it was just in terms of writing itself, and his advice was just write something. Write something, have it complete, beginning, middle, and end. And once you have that, then you can move forward. And that goes into this Brian Grazer quote about creative leverage. I want to emphasize that too, but what I want to emphasize more is the last part of the quote, which is, to this day, I feel my real power is only that ideas and confidence to write them down. And I think the key in all of this is confidence. Not confidence in your storytelling ability, not confidence in what you have to say to the world. It's not confidence in yourself, interestingly enough. It's a little bit more external. It's very difficult for me to explain, but there's going to be things, just everyday things, natural things, people that are going to get in your way of writing. And you have to have the confidence that you're going to overcome those things. And you're going to have to have the confidence that even if you're in a writing slump, you'll get out of it. And you have to have the confidence. I can't really think of the words that I'm trying to form. It is confidence, but it's not confidence in your abilities. It's not confidence in your ability to do the things that you set out to do. It's in the confidence that they will be achieved, I guess, is sort of what I'm seeking. That regardless if only one person reads it, or 1,000 people read it, or 1,000,000 people read it, that you've attained what you've achieved and have the confidence going forward with that, and you carry that with you. There's going to be so many different ways to deter you from your writing, from your storytelling, and from your ability to storytell. There's a lot of wonderful resources, books, YouTube videos on writing. And there's other ones on just attaining confidence. And this is what I mean about all the self-work that you need to do. I wanted to publish, not self-publish, but publish my novel, Gideon Star, The Shields of Gideon Prime. And I submitted, I want to say, 225 query letters to publishers in Canada, the United States, UK, and Ireland, and I got about 179 rejections, and the remainder I'm still waiting on. I haven't been rejected yet, so it means that they're still thinking about it. One thing I did come across, and it's a little tidbit that I'll give you, is that all of the queries asked if my novel was YA. which got me to thinking that maybe that's what the industry is looking for, are YA authors, or that they would be more open to reading YA novels at this point. That's not to say, again, that cycles don't change or that you should be discouraged. I mean, after all, Game of Thrones is not a YA novel by any extent of the imagination, and some of the greater novels that we talk about these days are not YA novels. But in terms of mass appeal, in terms of all the things that it can lead to, YA novels seem to be sort of the forefront for most publishers, which basically is why I ended up self-publishing. But I also self-published because of confidence. I self-published because I knew I needed to have the confidence to move forward. That if I sat on the book or tried different ways to get a publisher or spend my years trying to get a publisher, I wouldn't be doing things like this and reaching out and moving forward. I would be probably still sitting on the book, probably still editing it. As I think I've mentioned to you before in other videos, that there are still typos, there's still grammatical errors, there's still probably things that I would change, which is why I don't recommend rereading your material after you've read it and published it, but I will have to for the sequel that I'm writing. I did, funny enough, I've mentioned this before too, when I've had what I call writer's fatigue, but ostensibly can also be called writer's block. I have been writing a novel on the side. It's actually a sword and sorcery novel. It technically fits the YA category. It's not meant to be YA, but the protagonists are all basically, 15, 16, 17 to 21 years old. All the main characters are basically 17 to 21 years old. And they have agency in this sword and sorcery world the way that your YA characters need to have agency to accomplish the things that they do. You could write a YA novel that uses Greta Thunberg as an example, because she's definitely a young adult with agency. But there's also sort of your Katniss Everdeen's and Harry Potter, which kind of started the YA craze with magic. There's quite a few of them, actually, that you see how the characters for their young age, you can see how the characters are given agency. Luke Skywalker, I think, is supposed to be 18 in Star Wars. Technically would be YA, I guess. Star Wars, technically. They tried to make, I think they tried to make Star Wars a little bit more YA with the Disney sequels. But the idea is that if you're interested in publishing, I personally was interested in publishing mostly because this is the thing, marketing myself, being able to reach out. They would help you with that. You would have basically a publicist and sort of all the backing that you need to. They would be making phone calls to have you doing talks and lectures and so forth, and so these are the wonderful things that they have to offer you. So if there's a YA novel in you, please by all means write it, and never think that you're selling yourself out or selling yourself short. You do the things you have to do so that you can do the things that you want to do. Always remember that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing absolutely wrong with that. If I can ever, my heart is with Gideon Star right now. It really is. But if I ever got a publishing deal or someone interested, I probably would try to finish that other novel. And I do plan on doing that at some point. But right now it's my go-to novel just when I need a break from the Gideon Star universe. So I return to it every once in a while and fill in the pages and continue that way. Hopefully in the years to come you'll see that. But what I wanted to emphasize with you is confidence, again, is also a lot of deterrence. There are people in your life who love you very, very much and think that they're helping you, but they're really not. They'll have advice. I would actually dare say that people that are the most closest with you, you're going to have to take with a grain of salt because they have their own ideas and thoughts, particularly with you. They're worried about, in particular, they're worried about rejection and how it would affect you, which is why I say you have to do a lot of self-work, because you are going to get rejected. You may get rejected 179 times and be ghosted. That's the thing that you have to deal with. So you have to have it within yourself to know that, and the confidence to know within yourself that you're not being rejected. Your value proposition and what you have to offer is not being rejected. It's the way you're coming to it, the marketing, the fact that you have no leverage. That is what's being rejected. People who have a little bit more leverage than you, or people who have a little bit more pedigree. That's what I was looking for. People that have a little bit more pedigree than you, the valuable relationships, they'll come before you. And then in the meantime of that, if you have nothing but the writing, they're asking for YA. So give it to them. If you want to do your entree, give it to them. Otherwise, self-publish. It actually feels quite wonderful. It feels quite wonderful to tell people that I wrote something, beginning, middle, and end, finished it, edited it, and published it, and it's there for the world to have. And that there's no waiting, and that I am truly sorry that there was no fanfare to it, but hopefully in the years to come, I will learn to master all of this, master myself, and there will be fanfare, and it'll feel wonderful in that moment. But I can tell you right now, it all feels quite wonderful. This actually feels quite wonderful. I perceive in my mind us building a community that supports each other, that looks out for each other, that makes sure that we're all doing our best. I truly believe storytelling will change the world, does change the world, and that the value proposition that we're offering through that is to change hearts and minds, thoughts and ideas, and generate a better world through storytelling. That's truly what I believe. And I believe as a community we can do that. But there will be always outside forces that distract us, deter us, make us doubt ourselves. And you have to have the confidence that what you're doing is the correct thing and seeing it all the way through. There are structures and rules to storytelling that is better to follow than not to follow. But if you have a different idea, you should go for it and then see how it lands. Have beta readers, different things like that to see how it lands. And by all means, I must emphasize this: you have to be adaptable. Adapt to change. You have to be able to know what's working, what's not working, and make it work. Because the ultimate goal is for your story to be out there and to reach the audience that you want to reach, and have them follow your story. That's it. That's your goal. You want whatever it is that you're trying to say, we want to hear it. And then at the same time, allow us to do that. We want to like you. We want to love you. We want to follow your characters. We're in. Don't do anything to take us out of it. We have already come to you willingly. Don't make us retreat. That's it. So in the confidence that you have, write something completely, a beginning, middle, and end, in your unique voice and individuality. We'll see it come through. We will see it ourselves. So you don't have to worry about that. We'll know exactly who you are and where you're coming from through your storytelling. Don't neglect conflict. Conflict could be something as easy as, do I go to school today or I don't? And why it afflicts your character the way it does. Have us go on that journey with you. But there's always conflict. If you find yourself stuck or you find yourself not sure where to go, keep asking the question, what's the conflict? What's the conflict that my character is going through? What is the conflict that my character has to overcome? What is that obstacle? And it'll get you through to the next pages. I have something I want to share with you that I wrote that I believe is to be true. Writing is the search for truth. Whose truth? The absolute truth. It is possible love and hate come from the same well, but rather than naming the well, we name the feelings that come from it. That is storytelling. We can't really give a name to the human experience, only describe it with thoughts, feelings, sights, sounds, touch, and emotions. A deeper sense of self-acceptance. You are enough no matter the opinion of others. As a writer, I find myself personally, it's better to work on myself because of rejection and criticism to avoid taking it personally. Rejection is only a detriment if you take it personal. People have issues that they bring with them. You learn from rejection. Pay attention to criticism, especially from people that you believe like you and want to help you. These are some of the notes I wrote for this that I wanted to share with you. I wanted to make sure not to skip them as thoughts were coming to me about confidence and writing and storytelling and all the things that I want you to achieve for yourself. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for more alerts for more videos to come. If you want to support me and the channel, please purchase my novel, Gideon Star, the Shields of Gideon Prime. That would be wonderful and greatly appreciated. And I hope that you become a fan. I look forward to your feedback in the comments below. Have a great day. And until next time, keep writing.